Hello! In this video, I'm going to walk you through the 3-mic instrument interface. This is the interface for all of our traditional multi-sampled marching drum instruments. We really wanted to deliver a set of controls that are intuitive to use. The way we achieved this was by giving you the power of a mixing console. So in this instrument, for example, you have all of the mic channel strip effects, the master effects, volume, and pan for each of the close, mid, and far microphone placements. And you have the ability to solo, mute, and change the channel from stereo to mono independently. As you can see, the effects available to tweak for the mic channel strips are EQ, filter, lo-fi, distortion, rotator, pan, and volume. And for the master channel strip, we have phaser, flanger, chorus, delay, reverb, compressor, an arpeggiator and articulator, as well as master, pan, and volume, and a newly developed spinner, which I will show you now. So this is the spinner, and what this does is allow you to spin and swirl the sound around from the audience's listening perspective. Let's turn off these core effects sequencers first, and you will see by moving the distance slider, the audience's perspective in the concert hall changes from close to far. And the pan slider moves the perspective from left to right. On top of this, you can turn these red lights on to activate a step sequencer, which automates the listening perspective in tempo, allowing you to swirl the sound around the concert hall. When the spinner core effects sequencers are on, you will see this cap that goes over each of the volume and pan. What this is doing is actually routing these controls over to the spinner in order to create this amazing effect. This can create some really cool effects, and with Kontakt's ability to do surround sound routing, you can only imagine the potential in using this. So that's the spinner. Now let's move on to the effects. For the 3-mic instruments, we have taken the traditionalist approach when it comes to effect routing. As you see here, each mic channel strip has its own set of effects. In addition to this, we also have a set of master channel strip effects that all 3 mic channel strips are routed into. All of these master effects have send effect levels. For example, let's jump to our convolution reverb here. You will see here on the left a send section with a knob and drop-down menu. By selecting reverb in the drop-down, I can change the amount of signal being sent to the reverb effect. This is the way all the master effects with 3-mic instruments work, and by default the send effects are linked to all 3 mic channels, so that the send effect amount is changing on all 3 mic channels simultaneously at the same amount. For independent send effect control, if you jump to the options section here, you can turn link send effects off, and now you can have a different send effect amount for each microphone channel. We also carried this concept of linking over to the mic channel strip effects as well. Each of these effects can be linked or unlinked. What this means is that if you select linked, then the effect is linked and works as a single effect over all 3 mic channel strips. For example, with filter, it's defaulted with linked on, which allows me to tweak all 3 channel strips with one filter effect. If I turn linked off, I now have independent control for filter on all 3 mic channel strips. And as you can see, you can toggle between channels in the effect rack here by clicking these left and right arrows. So that is the effects. Now let's jump back to the main mixer view for a second, which you can do by clicking this mixer icon here next to the spinner button. Most of our 3-mic instruments were recorded with round robins. You can easily turn round robins off right here from the main screen, and if you jump to options, you have the ability to change additional round robin settings. This includes the round robin play order, from sequential to random order, as well as set a reset time. The reset time determines how long after a note is pressed to reset back to the first round robin. You will also find some 3-mic instruments with release trigger options. This is primarily with percussion roll instruments. For example, the snare roll instrument, when pressed, loops forever. But when you release the drum roll from playing, it plays a release trigger of a single snare hit, giving you realistic endings on these looped rolls. So I think I've covered most of what's new and significant in the layout of the 3-mic traditional instruments. In this next video, I will walk you through the morphed instrument interface.